everyone, and welcome to Universal Journeys Radio with your hosts, Dr. Brenda L. and Donny Winter. Follow your heart, for only you know which path is right for you. Universal Journeys Radio is about how spirituality intersects nearly with every other aspect of our life, even when we do not realize it. And creativity and expressions are connections to the spiritual energy many seek to understand, and our identity is forged through this process. Universal Journey seeks to help illuminate the different intersections between clarity, spirituality, and identity in order to empower and enlighten. Welcome, Donny.
Hello, Brenda dear. How are you?
Oh, a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. Hopefully we can keep this going for a couple hours since we have some severe thunderstorms and hail going on up in this area. So if I lose you or if you lose me, then you'll know what happened.
Yes, we will make it work regardless, as we always do.
Yes, we will. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you'd like to call in, our call-in number is 347-850-8292. And that's 347-850-8292. And the topic tonight is, do you want to know a secret about dreams and dream interpretation? And I don't know if it's really secrets as much as giving information out a different type of dreams and things like that. So, are we ready?
And there's a lot of information that people don't know about dreams that either they may think is, something that was just made up or something that was true or not true, but honestly, dream interpretation and experiencing dreams is a very diverse experience for many individuals.
Indeed. I have about 12 different definitions of the different types of dreams that we encounter all the time. Would you like me to read them?
I would love it if you read them.
That way we can kind of kick off from there and say which ones that we may have experienced or may not have experienced, and how we process them. So let's start out here. Good. We had daydreams, and this information is coming from dream moods. It's a type of dreams, and it's on the internet. I don't have the website here right with me. But anyhow, daydreams. Daydreaming is classified as a level of consciousness between sleep and wakefulness. Studies show that you have the tendency to do daydreaming, an average of 70 to 120 minutes a day. It occurs during waking hours when you let imagination carry you away. As your mind begins to wander and your level of awareness decreases, you lose yourself in your imagined scenario and fantasy. What do you think about that one? I have done daydreams. I do daydreams all the time. I can't even talk.
I never daydream. I'm kidding. I totally daydream, on a regular basis. And see, the interesting thing about daydreaming, you would think that would be the type of dreaming that we're all conscious of all the time, since it happens while we're conscious. But a lot of people daydream and don't even realize it. When you say, this is one that I do, I will be outside walking, and I will be walking through trees, and I'll see birds, and then I'll be like, oh, I wish I could fly. Then I'll imagine myself, flying or something. But I'll completely dismiss that as not a daydream because it's so fleeting, it just lasts for a second. But that, too, is a daydream. When you create these different scenarios in your mind and you imagine them, that is daydreaming.
That's true. I catch some of my members and stuff like that comes through, or even myself, and I'll say, oh, I got you doing La-La. Where are you at, off in La-La Land?
Right.
And sometimes you just stare off. You're not even aware of why you're staring off into this imaginary land, and your brain is out there, and so you're taken to that imaginary place. And
so my question for you, Brenda, is why do you think we daydream in the first place?
I think we just get out of our own stuff. Sometimes it's like getting out of reality, the reality that we're in right now, and we need a little bit of break. And that's just kind of where I was at today, is I was just kind of off and floating. I don't know if something was taking me away or whatever, or just realized that I needed to be out there. And that happens. I mean, there's a much deeper thing that you could possibly doing too, going into a different dimension or something like that, as well as like part of your consciousness needs to be there. You don't need to be conscious of where you're at. It's just that you're there and you're helping that particular dimension.
I had a very interesting experience. This was when I was a teenager. That it started as a daydream, and it turned into something completely different. And in fact, I think I wrote a creative writing piece about it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But there was this one time I was sitting outside. It was a beautiful day, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit outside and think about maybe doing some writing. So I have my notebook out there, and there was a thunderstorm starting to roll in, and I was watching it, and I got so caught up in the moment that I was daydreaming. And then I woke up like 15 minutes later. I had gotten so far into the daydream that I fell asleep, and it turned into an actual dream. And I woke up when it started raining on me. And I was just like, what is going on? And I also think that daydreams happen when we get caught up in different energies around us too, because these different energies intersect with our energies and kind of provoke us to think in different ways, provokes our mind to think in different ways. And since a change in weather, thunderstorms, are very powerful, and the energy associated with them is very potent, and I think that kind of intersected with my meditative state and, made me wake up from like an actual dream. It was actually a very interesting experience. I woke up and I thought that I was still dreaming when I was awake, but then I was like, oh, I should probably not die from lightning. I should go in. And I was just like, what is going on?
I could so see that happening. In Dream Master in the chat room states too, it says, for me, dreaming is astral, consciously shifting and agreed, just being consciously aware of your multidimensionality. So, and that's kind of cool. So,
I think that's a great analysis of it, yes.
I think it is too. I agree. So daydreaming is very important. We definitely need to do that, and sometimes that also helps us to, when we're thinking about something so hot and heavy, if we daydream a little bit, sometimes that information for what our answer or question is comes when you're daydreaming. So that's one of those things too. It's kind of perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next one is actually false awakening dreams. So it says, have you ever thought you've wakened? Yeah, okay, let's try this again. Have you ever thought you have waken up and gone about your daily morning routine, getting up, brushing your teeth, eating breakfast, and going to work, only to wake up again and realize that what you just happened was just a dream? The sensation is referred to as a false awakening. Now,
interesting.
I had times when I was in a dream and thought I was actually awake. And then I woke up out of the dream saying, what the heck? It felt more real or lucid than what it really was. But it was like everything was happening, and it felt like, okay, I had just woke up in the dream, thought I was already awake, and then I woke up again. So I've had those dreams.
Yeah, I can say that I've had those dreams too. Those happen far fewer times than daydreaming, though. Daydreaming is a very, very prevalent situation, but that type I feel like that type happens when you're in a deeper sleep, when you're farther into another reality or state of mind, because that's where that kind of disoriented feeling comes when you wake up and you're like, wait, I was dreaming, or wasn't I dreaming? Is this real? What's real? It skews our perceptions.
Well, for me, let's see, how can I say this? When I've been in those dreams, I never woke up confused. I just said, oh, and I woke up to reality. It's like, wow. And the interesting thing is I remember being in a dream where I woke up and then it's just like right now I feel alive. And in the dream I was like, not that you're not, but it's just I feel that feeling. And so that always makes it kind of interesting too. So I've had those, again, not as often as, say, daydreaming or other type of dreams, but I have had those. The thing that I didn't really analyze when I went through those was the fact that, okay, what does this mean? You know, what is there symbology within this particular dream? I think it was just for me to like, oh, I just woke up. I just re-woke up, you know, like woke up after waking up. And so that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Yeah, and then Dream Master, again, in the chat room, states, it's interesting, our dream time. I tend to phase out from this third dimension, which she said put 3D time and space. This for me is also time shifting. We do it all the time. I refer it to being slipping into the fifth, which is the fifth dimension. Time flies at times. Yes, it does.
And see, like, I guess it really depends on one's interpretation of time, because time is completely a human concocted way of measuring how things transpire. For me, when I dream, when I dream, time really doesn't exist. Like I don't necessarily perceive it, and I'll share a dream experience with you guys later that involves something like that.
And I mean, Seth Speaks also by Jane Roberts talks about some dreams and about different dimensional aspects of ourselves and stuff like that, which is really interesting. So the next one that they state is called lucid dreams. Lucid dreams occur when you realize you're dreaming. Wait a second, this is only a dream? Most dreamers wake themselves up once they realize that they are dreaming. Other dreamers have cultivated the skill to remain in the lucid state of dreaming. They become an active participant in their own dreams, making decisions in their dreams and influencing the dream's outcome without awakening. I do that.
Yep, I've done that myself as well. There was a dream once. So I have dreams a lot where I end up having like telekinetic powers or something, probably because I'm really nerdy like that, but that's besides the point. And I went through this series of dreams one night where something was trying to kill me, like something with a gun, someone with a gun was trying to kill me. And when, I remember feeling like I had zero control over what was going on, and then something just clicked, like something instinctual clicked, and I was like, I need to protect myself. I can't run because running won't do anything. So I turn around, the person shoots at me, I stick out my hand, and the bullets deflect away, and then I woke up.
Yep.
And it was just like that spur of the moment instinct that kind of activated that switch that allowed me to start lucid dreaming, and it was very interesting. And when I woke up, I was just like, I totally just did that. I did not know that I could do that. So lucid dreaming is a real thing, and I mean, I don't necessarily have it mastered yet. I can do it sometimes, but there are people out there who can control their dreams all the time.
Well, that's interesting because for me, for lucid dreams, I don't control those dreams. That's basically the only one that I don't control. And I don't know why that is, but it is. Now, nightmares and stuff like that you mentioned, those I do subconsciously control, because if I'm scared, just like you did, you know, you stopped running, you turned around, and you faced that individual, and then that was gone. You subconsciously turned around and did that. So I do that, and I've done that several times. Which takes us to the next topic. The next dream type is nightmares. This is what they say about nightmares. A nightmare is a disturbing dream that causes you to wake up feeling anxious and frightened. Nightmares may be a response to real-life trauma or situations. These type of nightmares fall under a special category called post-traumatic stress nightmare, PSN. Nightmares may also occur because you have ignored or refused to accept a particular life situation. Research shows that most people who have regular nightmares have a family history of psychiatric problems and involved in a rocky relationship or have had bad drug experiences. These people may have also contemplated suicide. Nightmares are indications of a fear that needs to be acknowledged and confronted. It is a way to influence, or for the subconscious to wake up and take notice, pay attention. It says. So, and that's the one where I control. I mean, I remember having my hysterectomy, and I was on this pain medication, which states that it did cause hallucinations. Well, when one night, I mean, this was right after my hysterectomy, and I took these. One night, I dreamt that I was in this room with blood splattered all over the ceilings and the walls and everything else, and I could see these two great big old eyes, in there. And I had to run out into another, outside, and then I was jumping from the back end of one semi to another semi to another semi to get away from it. And then I woke up. A couple nights later, I had the same dream, but by that time I remembered that I could change the outcome. So I changed the outcome, and then that dream went away and never came back. And I was thankful because that was scary.
Interesting. I don't know if I necessarily agree entirely with what you just read, because I don't necessarily think that nightmares mean you have some sort of latent fear about something or there's something you need to resolve. I think nightmares also mostly help us understand something. Not necessarily about fear, but maybe about a situation that we're facing. It may show us an alternative, or it may even show us like what we're capable of doing. And yes, there are instances where nightmares do kind of reflect a fear that we have, but it's not always the case. It made it seem like it was always the case. And
Well, Dream Master in the chat room states, nightmares, being lucid within these is powerful. To know they negative energy does not have power over you. And that's what I had to do, as I had to, in the first dream, because it scared the heck out of me, and then I went back into the second time, I had to no, this is not going to happen. I can change it. And you can control your subconscious, because your subconscious during your dreams will go out and wreak havoc and different things like that. But you can control your dreams. You just have to not awaken, but you have to awaken in your dream to your mind to say, I can control this. And when you can control it, you can master almost anything within a dream. And you can change it around. You can change the outcome, just depending on the dream itself.
Definitely.
So that's why lucid dreaming, I don't have any nightmares, and so I guess I just allow those to go because I know they're real. And a lot of times with the lucid dreams, I find that it actually does occur in regular life sooner or later in my life. So, and then that's something totally different. So, is there any more you want to say about the nightmares?
Nope, it seemed pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, so going on. Oh, Dream Master says these are big topics within the dream states. Wonderful sharing. Thank you, Brenda. You are most welcome, my dear. So the next one is reoccurring dreams. And this is what it says about reoccurring dreams. Reoccurring dreams repeat themselves with little variation in the story or theme. These dreams may be positive, but most often they are nightmarish in content. Dreams may reoccur because a conflict depicted in the dream remains unresolved or ignored. Once you find a solution to the problem, your reoccurring dreams will cease. And that almost kind of goes back up with the nightmares. Once I conquered it, it was gone. That was it. It was done.
See, the thing is, like, if I have what's interesting about recurring dreams is if I have a dream that has similar imagery or similar instances, that usually implies that I'm dealing with the same type of situation in real life. You know, I will use this as an example. I have a lot of volcanic dreams. I have dreams where I'm running away from an erupting volcano of some sort, or I'm near one, or I'm trying to help other people get away from it. I usually don't die in the dreams, but it's always me running away from it, and I ended up learning that that was me being afraid of a certain change taking place in my life. So now whenever I have some sort of dream about that image, I'm like, okay, either there is going to be a change or there is a change that I'm not noticing.
Yeah, like I said, there was only the one basic time that I had a reoccurring dream, and then I took care of it, and that was that nightmarish one. So not too often do I have reoccurring dreams. And if I do, then I take charge. The next one is called a healing dream. And this is what it says about this. Healing dreams serve as messengers for the dreamer in regards to their health. The ancient Greeks called these dreams prodromic. Many dreams experts believe that dreams can be helpful in avoiding potential health problems and healing when you are ill or when you are grieving. Research shows that asthma and migraine sufferers have certain types of dreams before the attack. Your bodies are able to communicate to your mind through dreams. The dreams can tell you that something is not quite right with your bodies even before any physical symptoms show up. Dreams of this nature may be telling the dreamer that he or she needs to go to the dentist or doctor. Oops. If you can understand the language of dreams, your dreams will serve as an invaluable early warning system. They can help inform, advise, and heal. So I have to agree with that because I've had some issues with my teeth, and there are several dreams that I've had where my teeth were falling out. So yeah, so you take care of it. You know, in the dreams, you know, it really does speak to you.
I've had dreams like that too, but I can't. I've had dreams like that too, but I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, though.
Well, I could tell you, been another one as well. I've had a dream where I went into the dream, and I was walking around in this back alley somewhere. And all of a sudden, I look over to my left, and it's the whole side of the building there was a shop. And the shop didn't have any doors or anything. But when I walked in, or when I looked in, there was this vat of water, and I saw this big, huge anaconda snake. Okay? And it was kind of coming toward me, or coming toward the opening. And behind it was this woman, I believe it was, or person, cleaning up. And I'm like, hey, your snake's out, your snake's out. Well, the snake kept coming to me, and the individual didn't hear me. So I go pick up the snake, and I was going to put it back where it was supposed to be. And all of a sudden, its head come up, and teeth showed. It was trying to bite me. So I had to switch my hands around, and I got my left hand around the back of its head, so it couldn't bite me. But in the turn, it started to wrap around, and it thumped my right hand. I mean, seriously, it hurt. Well, I come out of the dream with that, and it still hurt. It hurt for a couple days after that. And that in itself is like a shamanic dream where the shamans go into a deep meditative state or a dream and pull out something and bring it back to heal people. So with that, even though it seemed like a terrible dream, but what I received was the medicine of the snake. So, and then I use that. And it's funny because the other day it would feel like someone was either trying to tap into it or pull it out of my hand, and I was in a waking state, which is weird. Or try to activate it, one of the two. So it was quite interesting. So I've had those. And healing dreams are kind of cool.
That is really interesting. I like I said before, I can't think of an instance where I've had a dream like that before.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to do some thought. Maybe I did. I just can't remember it.
Yeah. So, okay. The next one is called prophetic dreams. Prophetic dreams, also referred to as precognitive or psychic dreams, are dreams that seemingly foretell the future. One rational theory to explain the phenomenon is that your dreaming mind is able to piece together bits of information and observation that you may normally overlook or that you do not seriously consider. In other words, your conscious mind knows what is coming before you can consciously piece together the same information. I have to say that is very true. Mm-hmm. For me, I've had several of those. And those ones are almost like a lucid dream type of deal because they feel so real. And I know that some of them, the symbology in them are like, what, really? No way type of deal. But yet later on, I would say, and they get closer and closer when I have these type of dreams that are occurring, is they happen within, or they occur within 1 week or week and a half before the actual incident does happen or occurs.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time, not too long ago, I dreamt that I could smell the European air, and I felt like I was going to be going to a European country. And it was real, and I'm like, and I knew what I was doing there, and I was there with another guy. But I'm thinking, since I got out of the service, I haven't traveled overseas, and there's just no way because I don't have the money to be able to do that, to afford it. And not long after that, I worked for an automotive company, and we had some bad parts. And we ended up going over to Windsor. In Windsor, once you cross the bridge, you are like you were in old Europe. You have that smell. I mean, it was just like I was in Europe again. So I was like, wow. That was cool.
That is interesting. I've had dreams like that where I smelled the inside of my grandmother's house in a dream, and then I woke up and I was like, holy, that was very, deep. It was so precise, and I was very astounded by the preciseness of what I experienced,
Mhm. Mm. Yeah, it's just quite interesting, how these things occur, and that's not the first time. There are other incidences that occurred. I remember dreaming one time and felt like I was in a higher state than just a regular dream. Is where I was teaching at this facility, and I saw what the facility looked like and things like that. And it was in 2005, actually, or no, It was in 2010. It was in 2010, and I happened to go to a conference, a psychic conference down in Arkansas, and I'll be doggone if up on the hill I'm looking down at this facility was right. It was the same one that I saw in my dream. It was pretty crazy.
That is really awesome. Kind of surreal too at the same time.
Yep, very much so.
Well, Brenda, dear, did you want to go on our first break?
Sure, we can go on our first break. Didn't realize that was time. So
I just noticed it myself.
Hey, so since we're talking about dreams, let's listen to some Aerosmith, Dream On. And we'll be back after the break. And welcome back to Universal Journeys Radio with your host, Dr. Brenda and Donny Winter. Speaking of Donny Winter, Donny, do you have a shameless post?
Hello, everyone. So we like to do little advertisements after each, break that we take, and I'm I'm a YouTube blogger. For those of you who did not know, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Donny Winter, if you go to it. I'm doing a video right now, or a video series right now about bullying survival. Man, I cannot talk right now. Bullying survival. So if you guys are interested and you were intrigued by that subject, you're more than welcome to go check it out and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys have had bullying experiences, that's a great place for you to interact with other people who have also experienced the same things. Okay, back at you, Brenda.
Okay, we have four more dream topics, and then we're going to go to the callers. So
all right.
the next topic is called signal dreams. Signal dreams help you how, wait, this doesn't make sense. Signal dreams help you to know how to solve problems or make decisions in your waking life. I don't know if I've really had a signal dream. I don't, that one kind of threw me off.
I can't say that I have either, but that is a very interesting thought, though.
Right. I mean, I've had dreams where I've gotten ideas of how I could change things, but this one here is quite interesting. So I guess I'll go on to the next one. So the next one is called epic dreams, and here's what they say about that. Epic dreams, also referred as great dreams, cosmic dreams, or numerous dreams, are so huge, some compelling, and some so vivid that you cannot ignore them. The details of such dreams remain with you for years, as if you just dreamt them last night. These dreams possess much beauty and contain many archetypical, talk about not being able to talk, symbology. When you wake up from such a dream, you feel that you have discovered something profound or amazing about yourself or about the world. It feels like a life-changing experience. I can truly say that I've had some of these.
I have had one of those too. Would you like to share one of yours?
No, because I can't. No, because I don't know the whole detail. I won't be able to get all of the information out for you. So that's how epic it is.
Okay, well, I wouldn't call it epic, but I guess the realization that I had afterward was pretty epic. This was a couple years before I graduated from my bachelor's degree, and I was at a point in my life where I was just like, I really don't see myself doing anything with my English degree, and I felt very, very discouraged. I go through these phases where I get really discouraged about my career choices and my hobbies, but this was one of those instances. And okay. I went to bed one night and I had a dream that I went back, the dream took place in the future. My present self was sitting in a classroom in a barn, a really dusty old barn, and the teacher in this classroom was an older version of myself. I remember having long, grayish hair, and I think I was about 60 years old or so. And one of the students next to me, this was a literature class, and one of the students next to me was complaining about having to do literature and having to read, and the teacher said, or I said, my future self said, "You're doing this because it's going to help you discover more about yourself." And then he looked at me, like my present self, and was like, "You're doing this because you're passionate about it, and you have, this is something you have to do. You were meant to do it." Mm-hmm. And, I remember, the smells, I remember smelling sawdust and hay. I remember, it was so unbelievably vivid that I woke up and I nearly cried. I was just like, if this wasn't a message, I don't know what else it would have been. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, okay, I do feel like this was some sort of lesson that I had to learn, and I learned it through experiencing that dream. It was very, very fascinating.
Well, and the one dream that I remember, and I don't remember, which is part of the issue, is I was reading the book Seth Speaks, and that is a very mind-opening as well as numbing, and you have to break through all barriers of what you think and how you think and stuff like that. Well, I went to sleep with a question, and I wanted to know about some situation or ability or just knowledge, wisdom, consciousness. When I was in the dream, I got the answer that I wanted. So I'm thinking I'm going to bring this back out with me because this is so informational, so it'll blow people's minds, but yet they will be so awakened. And as I'm bringing it out, and I'm almost out of the dream and waking up, and then I'm telling myself, okay, just remember this word, remember this. And as I come out, I'm like, I went back and it's like, okay, what was that word again? And it was gone. But and I think part of the reason why is because people are not supposed to know that information right now. They're not ready for it. And I think once we are to that point, then that information will be reintroduced again. And that's all I can remember about that. I know it was very clear. It's like I got the pieces. The pieces of the puzzle came together so fantastically, and it was just like everything opened up. I mean, all the limitations were gone and everything.
Maybe what your dream was trying to convey, that it's not necessarily the answer that's important, it's how we get to the answer that's important.
I don't know. I really don't know, but it was just kind of really just cool.
Well, it suggests, like, it also, like, I've felt this for a long time, that we forget dreams for a reason also. So, I mean, the reason that you gave seems like a very, sensible reason, I'd say.
Right. And I know that too. That is, and to me that was an epic dream. I was like, whoa, this is really cool, Of course, that's not the word I use, but. So we have things going on in the chat room, and the Dream Master says they are coming more into our awareness awakening, per se, for the dreams. And then he mentions, you're cute, Donny. Dreams show me solutions. Says he or she says, dreams show me solutions to beyond your consciousness, into universal consciousness. Absolutely. And Renwright said that I got the idea for the novel I'm writing now from a dream. The situation, setting, plot, characters, their names, very detailed, epic information. And I have to agree, I've done that, not necessarily for a book, but other stuff too. And then we go back to Dream Master again. It says, I love my dreams. It's where I came from, phasing through dimensions. This awake time is a slight moment of my existence. So, yeah, I embrace this 3D as much as I do my dream time. And dreaming, for me, again, is accessing to higher dimensions. Absolutely. The dream path to archive, or is it, the dream path to achieve end result. Absolutely. The dream path, yep. So those are quite cool, quite correct. I mean, they're spot on. So the last one was epic dream, and then the next one is progressive dreams, and this is what they have to say about progressive dreams. The progressive dreams occur when you have a sequence of dreams that continue over a period of nights. The dream continues where you left off the previous night. Such dreams are problem-solving dreams and help to explore different options and various approaches to a problem, solution, or relationship. I don't think I've ever had anything like that dream.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah. So that's quite interesting.
So see, it just goes to show people that there are so many different diverse types of dreaming, and everyone experiences different types of dreaming. Like, we don't all experience the same things.
Right. And I think it depends on where we have developed ourselves, where we're at on the evolutionary ladder. Be it where, because it doesn't mean that just because you're going in progression here, it doesn't mean that say the last progressive dreams is the highest dream. That doesn't, no, I don't think there's any particular order here. It's just which one that you connect with and do. So, and then the very last one is called mutual dreams. And this is what it says about mutual dreams. Mutual dreams are described such as when two people have the same dream. Mutual dreams may be planned, meaning that two people actively work together, achieving one dream, scenario, or goal. It is a way to improve communication and build trust. Mutual dreams can also be spontaneous. You find out that a friend, a significant other, faraway relative, or someone has had the same dream on the same night as you. Not much study has gone into the phenomena of mutual dreams, but there is a very strong bond that exists between two people. I have to say, absolutely right. I have had that occur to me more than once. And the first time this ever happened to me, this is kind of an interesting scenario. In my dream, I am above the individual that I'm looking at. And where this woman is walking, and I think it's another me, but where this woman is walking, it is the shape of a cross. And this woman is going from the bottom of the cross, and it's flat. The woman is going from the bottom of the cross and walking toward the middle. And this is one that did reoccur, by the way. So the first time I'm watching her walk, and then I come out of the dream. And then this reoccurred, now that I remember this reoccurred, the same thing happened. I'm still watching, and then all of a sudden, I'm there with the woman. I am the woman in a wraith, which is like a spirit went right directly through me. And as it was going through me, I'm like, ah! And then all of a sudden, the individual who was in the dream with me, who was very connected to me, I could feel his heartbeat in mine. And I know mine wasn't beating. I mean, I was fine when I woke up, but his were like, and he was, because we were dreaming at the same time.
Wow.
That was my first, and that was Patrick, by the way, and that was my first two-person dreaming. And then there's been some other ones too, but that particular one was wild. It was like, oh my gosh.
I've had a couple dreams like that myself. I actually one recently. I had a dream about one of my friends, and the next day, like honestly, I can't remember the details of the dream. I just remember that she was in it, and we were at the beach of some sort, and she Facebook messaged me the next day, and she was like, "Did you come to me in a dream last night? Because you were totally in my dream." And I was just like, "I did have a dream about you last night. That is really interesting." So I do believe that people can tune into each other when they're dreaming, because there are familiar energies that we are attracted to, and when we're in that ether, we're going to be naturally attracted to energies we're familiar with.
Well, what the interesting thing with this particular website here, it doesn't state anything about astral travel. Because we astral travel during when we sleep, and it doesn't mention anything about astral traveling and remembering dreams. I find that quite interesting, and I've astral traveled before. I mean, I've met people on an astral plane. Even when I'm not sleeping, I've met people on the astral plane, which was kind of a cool thing when it happened. Not necessarily for him, but for me it was. So, with that said, with all this dream information and what types of dreams you have, you can explore within the dream. All you have to do is control your subconscious. Once you control your subconscious, you can do a lot of different things. Even no matter which type of dream you're in, if you can recognize that you can change it or bring something out of it, or go into a dream with the knowledge that, okay, I want to bring something out of this, which that's what I did for going into that shamanic dream. But also with something being scared, or you can change the outcome in anything.
Exactly, yeah.
So dreams are very powerful. And I can tell you, too, that in the Native American tradition, especially the Iroquois, what they would do every morning, they would gather in a group, and they would tell each other their dreams. And it was up to the medicine men and women, or the shamans, whomever which you'd call them, to tell the individual, okay, now you have to act out your dream, because that makes it become reality.
Mm-hmm.
I should say reality on this plane, because they believe that dreaming is reality and the wakened state is an illusion. So they were so
that
good
is
at
interesting.
they were so good at what they did in their dream state that they were able to tell when intruders would come towards their camp, and they would leave by the time the intruders got there. That's how powerful those dreams were.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
I've read several of those types of books, or at least that book anyways, of talking about that, and I've gotten confirmation and things too. So, but they believe the dream state is reality, and the physical waking state like we are right now is an illusion.
Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting train of thought.
Yeah. And then, of course, if you have trouble deciphering what your dreams are or trying to make any sense of, they do have several different type of dream interpretation books out there. One that I particularly like is called The Mystical, Magical, Marvelous World of Dreams by Wilda B. Tanner. And the thing to remember about this is you can go in and look at what it states about the symbol, or say like if you had a toaster that you remember that's in a dream, you could go to this book and the toaster would say, many symbolize new ideas. Toasters may symbolize new ideas and food for thought popping out of your mind. Of course, it may also be a way of warming things up. So even though you go to the books, you really need to take in consideration what it means or what it feels like to you. Now, some of the interpretations in there may not resonate, but there's something within that you can take with you and say, okay, this is what it is. That's just like if anybody goes to a dream interpreter, which I happen to do as well, but maybe not to the extent as Dream Master does. But anyhow, you can go to a dream interpreter, you can tell them your dream, they would explain what they sense or feel out of the dream, but the main thing is what you believe it really means. Because it's your dream, and it has to resonate with you. A lot of times, though, if you have a really good dream interpreter, it will be spot on. But the bottom line is it's your dream. You have to say yay or nay whether or not it's true.
Right, and I think I think a lot of people have the ability to interpret their own dreams. They just don't realize it. Because, and it all stems down to being aware of the different happenings in their lives. Like, it's pretty basic to pair up various images with various concepts and events, So I really think that people need to start exercising their awareness of such things, because it'll help them, in the end, I think, understand themselves more effectively, too.
And that's very true. And there are, in the dream interpretation book here, you have themes like gardens and games.
Brenda, are you there? You kind of faded out. Well, everyone, it seems as though that we may have lost Brenda. Okay. One moment here. Okay, so anyway, she was going on about how I feel like we all have the ability to interpret dreams. And personally, I think it all comes down to research too. We need to delve in and research the different images that we're exposed to, because in doing so, we end up understanding more about ourselves. And I actually have a listing. I like Huffington Post is a decent source. I don't always use Huffington Post, but I thought seemingly accurate, so I wanted to share them with you guys too. Okay. Let me see. For those of you who have ever had a dream where you have been chased by someone or something, this article, which by the way, this article is by Dreams Cloud on Huffington Post if you are interested in going and investigating that. Being chased is one of the most commonly reported dreams, mostly because the anxiety we feel in the dream is so vivid that it makes it easier for us to remember them. And often the reason for these dreams comes not from the fear of actually being chased, but rather what we're running from. Chasing dreams help us to understand that we may not be addressing something in our waking lives that require our attention. And, I can completely attest to having this type of dream too, because earlier in the show when I was talking about having a volcanic dream and me always running away from this natural disaster, I never really understood why I was running away from it until I had someone interpret that for me, and she told me, like, she paired it up with a specific event that I had gone through, and she was like, you were running away from this event, you're running away from coping with this event. And that's when I realized, I was like, gee, it wasn't necessarily a person chasing me, but regardless, I was still running from something. Brenda, dear, are you back?
I am. I can't believe it. Just kind of like dropped me right there in mid-sentence, like, whoop, gone.
It's okay. I tried to pick us up. I've gone on to talk about the different symbols that we encounter in dreams with my list that I have, if that is okay. Did you want to continue saying what you were saying before you got cut off?
I don't even remember where I was at now, so no, please go forward.
Okay. Okay. Technology happens, everyone.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so number 2 is water. Water frequently represents our emotions or our unconscious minds. The quality of the water, clear versus cloudy, calm versus turbulent, often provides insight into how effectively we are managing our emotions. And I completely agree with this. There have been many instances where I've encountered water in dreams. Actually, it's very interesting. Usually the water that's in my dreams seems to occur whenever I am on something tall, like a bridge. And I'm always either crawling across the bridge or, trying not to fall. And I've had people interpret that before as me being afraid of facing my emotions, because, if you're afraid of that and it's depicted in this type of image, the water is so far below, you're afraid of falling into it and losing yourself in it. And, I found that to be very, at Riverdale, I was like, wow, that's very interesting. I never thought of it that way. And I don't really ever have any dreams where there's, like, a storm or anything like that. But, I'm sure that's a case for some people, Number 3 is vehicles. Whether a car, airplane, train, or ship, the vehicles in our dreams can reflect what direction we feel our life is taking and how much control we think we have over the path ahead of us. Vehicles can give us the power to make a transition and envision ourselves getting out to our destination, or highlight the obstacles we think we are facing. Man, apparently I can't read today. We think we are facing and need to work through. And honestly, I don't really have dreams about vehicles. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I do.
Did you want to share one of them?
Yeah, for me, vehicles are very important, and it depends on what type of vehicle it is and what type of dream I'm having with the vehicle. There are times when I've lost my vehicle. I left it somewhere, and here I am on this bicycle trying to go down the road, And vehicles actually is about your body. It's about the control that you have over it. It's about going forward. It's about a lot of different things. But when I have someone that is in the front seat of my vehicle and I'm in the back seat, that means that I'm allowing someone else to drive my life, to take control of my life. And what you really want to do is you don't want someone to take control of your life. You want someone, or you want them to be behind you, and you want to do that. I've had dreams where I've been next to another car in my car, and I had this one blonde-haired guy come up to me and said, "Oh, it's nice to see you again." And I'm thinking to myself, I don't recall who you are, but that tells me that there was someone in my past that I'm going to meet again sometime, and he may have blonde hair. So the vehicle for me, vehicle and houses mean quite a little bit. I mean, I've had quite a few of those. Speaking of which, we are at 8:04. Did you want to take a break or you want to continue?
We can take a break if you'd like.
And welcome back to Universal Journeys. Welcome back, Donny.
Hello, Brenda, dear.
Howdy.
Okay, so before we get on to the next segment of our show, I'm going to do a quick promotion for our show's YouTube channel, actually our Facebook page first, then our YouTube. If you are listening to our show and you want to have more discussion with us, or you want to learn more about us, if you go to, if you're on Facebook and you type in Universal Journeys, you should be able to find your page there. Or if you type in the URL bar, facebook.com/Universal Journeys 111, that's another way to find us. Also, we're in the process of getting Universal Journeys up on YouTube. Our different our segments are being put up on YouTube. If you just go to youtube.com and type in Universal Journeys, you should be able to find us and subscribe to our channel. It's just another convenient platform for us to get our show out there, and we really, really appreciate you guys listening to us. All right, back to you, Brenda.
Back to me. Actually, I'm going to take it back to you so you can finish up where you were started there.
Oh, okay. Tag, you're it. Okay, so before we left off, we were talking about vehicles and dreams, and like I was saying, I don't really have any memorable experiences with vehicles in my dreams, but I do remember different directions, like moving in different directions, like southeast, west, north, all of that jazz, and whenever I'm going in that direction in a dream, that means I'm going in that direction in real life at some point down the road. And a lot of my volcanic dreams that I have had over the past 5 or 6 years, geographically, the natural disaster was situated southwest of me. And today I'm living in Missouri, which is southwest of Michigan. And for the longest time, I was running away from that. And then once I faced that, I was like, this is very surreal. I didn't realize that all of this is happening. I was running away from doing what I've always wanted to do, teach. And now, it was very enlightening. So I do think that even without vehicles moving in a specific direction, you physically need to observe the directions in your dreams because they could also have symbolic significance to you, okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the vehicles, too, it doesn't mean just a car. It could be a motorboat. It could be a balloon. It could be a chariot. It could be a yacht. It could be anything. It could be a rickshaw. They all mean something a little bit different. So, I mean, boats, planes, trains, trolleys, trucks, buses. I mean, these are all different things. Ambulances, and that's just like reading about an ascended master or a priest or something like that. Those all have spiritual meanings to it. And then you have dreams where certain people come to in your dream. Say like, I don't know, Tom Selleck. For one, okay, because I like Tom Selleck. More now than when he was younger. But say Tom Selleck come into my dream, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's Tom Selleck and this is who you're dreaming about. It could be something within his character and everything else that you need to take a look at for your own dream, for your own personal experience for your own, okay, this is, and it could be, you know, like a priest could be a father figure, or a regular father figure could be the father figure, or a male. I mean, there's a lot of different interpretations. There's a lot of different meanings and everything else to these particular dreams. You just have to sit back, relax, and say, okay, what does this mean? And then if you need help, thank goodness for the internet, you can go on and look for dream interpretations, or you can ask someone who does that, and they will be more than willing to help out. Sometimes it's a little bit better to ask an individual who knows a little bit about dreams versus going on the internet and trying to figure it out, because that individual not only can tell you about the dream, but they can tune into that energy and give you a little more insight.
Mhm. Exactly. It's interesting that you mentioned people, because on this list, the next one is people.
Hey!
Seeing other people in your dream often is a reflection of the different aspects of the self. The people in dreams can relate to characteristics that need to be developed. Specific people directly relate to existing relationships or interpersonal issues we need to work through. Dreaming of a lover in particular is frequently symbolic of an aspect of ourselves from which we feel detached. Oh my God, I have dreams about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. We all have to be detached from something, you know.
Yeah. So, I mean, even some dreams, say sexual dreams, still have some symbology in them. Mm-hmm. And even though you might have certain individuals come in your life that you don't know about, it also could be connected to an individual that you are very connected to. And that brings up the other point where I was saying about being in a dream with someone else on the physical level, you know, two people. And I've had a couple of those where Patrick and I, he wasn't the person that was in the dream, but he felt that dream, that sexualness and excitement and stuff like that during the dream process. I know that too. So that it's just quite interesting how the dream world really is. And again, to quote the Native Americans, that is reality. This is illusion. I wholeheartedly believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. So shall we go on to the next one?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the next one is school or classroom. Oh, God, I have this all. There we go. It's a very common situation for people in dreams to find themselves in a school or classroom with a test that they aren't prepared to take. Not necessarily a test. This is a great example of a dream pun, the mind using a word or concept and giving it a different definition. The lesson or task we face inside the school or classroom is frequently one we need to learn from our past, which is one reason these dreams are often reported by people who have since finished school. Oh God. So I don't really have dreams about tests when it involves school. I have dreams about being late for school all the time. Or I have dreams where I show up to school naked.
Yeah, because you're showing yourself.
Yep. And believe it or not, honestly, I am more naked in my dreams than I am in real life. I don't know what that says about myself.
Well, it's just showing that you don't have anything to fear. It's like you are being your authentic self.
Mm-hmm. True.
So
Very
you have
true.
nothing to hide. You are who you are.
I was kind of being inappropriate. Forgive me. I know you did. Well, I finished it. I'm kidding.
There you go.
Okay, so number 6 is paralysis. Unknown, the body is actually encountering a form of paralysis during dreaming, which prevents it from physically performing the actions occurring in their dreams. Therefore, dreaming about paralysis frequently represents the overlap between the REM stage and the waking stage of sleep. Dreaming about paralysis can also indicate that the dreamer feels he or she lacks control of their waking life. And I don't have these dreams often, but I have had dreams where I felt like I couldn't move, where I couldn't get away from from something, like no matter what I did, I just could not get away from it. And that kind of comes into context with this type of dream too. And it's very, very unnerving. And I mean, it'll often leave you waking up kind of, with a quickened heartbeat and stuff like that. Have you ever experienced that kind of dream?
Oh, several times. In one time, before I even knew how to deal with this, is I had to figure out a different way to get out of being paralyzed. So it was quite interesting because you can't move your hands and you can't scream out, you can only move your eyes and your arms and legs don't move and you're stuck there and you don't know what it is. It's just this darkness. And the one thing that I had in my favor, and I hope this helps anyone else who's been out there, is use your mental thought. Your mental thought is the key that is in any of those things. Because the last time I had a dream like this, I saw the individuals or the beings that were holding me down. And I couldn't move. I could only move my eyes. But the only thing that I had going for me is I could know, my mental state. So I was able to conjure something up out of my mental awareness to get me free of those individuals. But at first, the first time that you have them, or first several times you have them, if you don't realize that, you wake up startled. You wake up like, I can't do anything. I can't move. And it's like, really, what is going on there? Now, for me, that is part of a dream state. But also, there is more going on in the world that we have not fathomed to this point yet. And sometimes these things, per my perspective, is we are being observed, which I saw that before in a dream. We are also being watched, the same thing, about what we do and how we do things in our dream state, how we overcome certain aspects of our dream states. And I'm thinking that sometimes we're put into those dream states for a reason, to see how we're going to react and how well we progress in our own spiritual life. That's just my take on some of that.
I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
But
I've seen the watcher there.
That out.
Yeah, I've seen the watcher there. I've seen the watcher watch me do what how to get out of a certain predicament and stuff like that. I've seen the watcher there. I've seen him with a clipboard. So I know this is real. I know that's real.
Yeah. Wow. I can't say that I've ever experienced that in any of my dreams. But maybe I'm just not observing the correct things either. That's entirely possible.
There is really no correct thing. It's depending on where you're at in your involvement. But like I'm saying, I hope this helps someone else out. Your mental thought is your weapon. Your mental thought is your way out. What you can think, you can manifest.
Exactly.
Once you get past that fear.
Definitely. So let's go on to number 7 then. Number 7 is death. Although death is often perceived as negative, it's often more directly related to dramatic change happening for the dreamer, the end of one thing in order to make room for something new. And it's interesting because when I was in college, like doing my undergraduate degree, and I was starting, I was talking about bullying and stuff on YouTube, I had dreams frequently about me dying. And I was freaking out because at that point in my life, I was like, oh my God, I just got through being really suicidal in high school. Why am I having dreams about killing myself? I was kind of freaking myself out, and then I realized after I had my dreams interpreted that I was letting that former self go, because I was at the point in my life in high school where I believed that I was a victim, and I bullied myself while these other people bullied me too. And once I started transforming my mindset and realizing that I survived all of it, I became a survivor. So in my dreams, symbolically, I was letting go of the person that I was and becoming the person that I am today.
Yeah.
So it was the death of my former self.
Yep. And that also goes with the tarot cards. The tarot card, just because the death card comes up does not mean you're going to die. It just means that things are going to change. You're going to have a death of a former life type of deal and new changes coming in. It doesn't mean a physical death. It could be just a spiritual one. Exactly. Or not so spiritual one, into a spiritual one.
Exactly. Okay, so number 8 is flying, which I've had many dreams about flying too. Flying in a dream and how effectively or poorly it's done relates to how much control we have in our lives and whether we are confident and able to achieve our goals. High flying is one of the most euphoric dreams imaginable, while flying or skimming low to the ground or being caught in obstacles like power lines can be immensely frustrating. I've mostly had dreams about flying high, and usually not above the clouds, but right below the clouds, and I've always felt really euphoric about it. So, I mean, I guess symbolically that could symbolize, me overcoming something or reaching a goal of some sort. Now, what's interesting is the next one after this is falling. Number 9 is falling. Not all falling dreams are scary and negative. Some dreamers report a type of slow falling that indicates serenity and the act of letting go. Often, falling uncontrollably from a great height indicates something in our waking lives that feels very much out of control. And I remember I used to have a lot of falling dreams when I was in high school. And now I have dreams where I'm clinging to a bridge. Like the threat of falling is there, but I never fall. I always make it to the other side. And I've also had those slow falling dreams where it's almost euphoric, like that flying, like that kind of like euphoric adrenaline rush. But yeah, I haven't had one of those really bad falling dreams in a long time, knock on wood. And but a lot of people experience them.
Right. The other thing, too, is with the falling dream, if you think about it, especially flying, a falling dream, imagine yourself flying and turn into a airplane or something like that. And you don't have to literally turn into it, but you can, put your arms out and you can slow yourself, or you can put them back to make you zoom down and come back up and move back and forth from one side to the other. Those are pretty cool dreams if you get past the fear. The fear is what really gets you. So that's going back to saying, okay, I got to change my subconscious here and take it, and take charge of it. I remember in some of my dreams where I ran over these hilltops and just like lifted myself up over top and kept going, around the, what do you want to call it? Over the trees and through the woods, to grandmother's house to go.
Oh my God, I was about to say that. Oh, I love it.
And it was a freedom. It was a freedom to get out there and say, okay, this is real. This, you can do this, and you get past the limitations of the physical mind when you do so. And if you can overcome that, it's like, okay, that's overcoming a limitation. Overcoming a fear. So if you're falling anymore, say, okay, let's try to fly. Let's fly. Let's have fun and just run and so that's all part of that thing.
Brenda, you were right, and I love it.
Well, I've been there, I've done that, and I've had those fears, and I've had those like, okay, wait a minute here, I can't do that. Oh, wait, I'm falling, type of thing. But yet, with all of that, and through everything that I've gone through and tried to create and recreate or overcome in a dream, you can do anything like that as long as you control your subconscious. And when you control your subconscious, then other things start to happen. And you can say, whoa, I can change this. Even, like you said, Donnie, lucid dreams and stuff like that, you can change the outcome. Exactly. And when you take control of those things and you start to understand why you're having certain dreams and why things start to happen in your life that you don't really understand. This is one of those things. And then all of a sudden, every dream starts to mean something that either is going to transpire in your life or what. But pay attention because they're real. They're there for you. They're there to help you.
Exactly. Okay, so number 10 is nudity, which we kind of talked about already. This article says that nudity represents emotion or psychological exposure or vulnerability, and it's often expressed in nudity. The body part that's exposed can give more insight into the emotion that our dreams are helping us to understand. Like you, I like also what you were saying too, that being naked also represents, in a way, revealing ourselves and being who we are, being confident in who we are. But also, I'm sure it can represent vulnerability. And I've had dreams, many dreams, where I've been naked, where I have felt both.
Yep, I agree.
Do you have naked dreams, Brenda?
Not anymore. I used to. And not really all naked, just part of me would be naked. And it would depend on if it was the top half or the bottom half or anywhere in between. Never really fully naked, though. And it depends on, the top half would be more like for me, naked at the top half where I have a shirt on and all of a sudden my shirt flies open. And for me, the breast is for, the showing of the breast is for nurturing. As the mother, when the baby would be suckling on the mother and stuff like that, that's more of a nurturing, passionate type. And then, the bottom half would be more about sexuality and things like that. So those are all things for me to look at. I mean, I really did do some in-depth research on my own dreams, and it is quite interesting of what come about. Now, with all of this said, we do have Dream Master has said several things here. It goes back, it says, right, Donny, having power over change. Falling dreams are interesting, yes. Overcoming fear, doubt, interesting fear and doubt. Always shift in those situations. Falling dreams are awesome. The outcomes manifest within the wake time. I have no scruples. Dream Masters, I have no scruples. So it is, I mean, it is definitely well worth your while to go in and try to decipher your dreams. And the best way to do that is one of the best ways to remember your dreams is upon waking, have a dream journal there and start writing down, because after a little while you lose it. It just goes away.
Oh, yes. So, and see, sometimes you tell yourself that, I'll remember it, and after like an hour you may end up forgetting it. So I definitely encourage keeping a dream journal.
Yep, definitely. So, onward and upward there, Donny boy.
All right. Okay, so number 11 is having a baby in the dream. Dreaming of a baby often represents something new. It might be a new idea, new project at work, new development, or the potential for growth in a specific area of your waking life. I cannot say that I've ever had a dream about a baby, but I'm sure that many people have.
That's true. And it's about newness. That's just like when I do readings and I'm sitting across from, say, a woman, especially a woman, and there's stomach area, solar plexus area, not solar plexus, stomach area. If I see, like a baby, okay, or something like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's pregnant, but she has new beginnings going on. There's new beginnings out there for her to start. But it is quite interesting to be able to discern between whether or not it's actually a pregnancy or if it's a new beginning. There's a little bit difference. Not quite enough to really get it, but that's something that you have to sense. And I've had a little bit of both, and one individual says, I'm not pregnant, I'm pregnant. Well, guess what? Several months later, she comes back to me and says, guess what? I'm pregnant. I knew that. but thank you for the confirmation.
Oh, my.
To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever really had one, except for one that reoccurred twice, of anything with a baby. And that was when I was younger. I had a dream that my cousin and I was pushing baby carriages, not necessarily babies in it, but baby carriages, and dinosaurs were running after us. To this day, I still don't know what that was all about. What were the dinosaurs really doing, running after us, and we were pushing baby carriages because there was no such thing as baby carriages when dinosaurs were there during that time frame. So
Brenda,
did figure that one out.
I have a question for you. Do you have like a dream book right there with you? I don't know.
I do. Yes, I do.
My friend Debbie, who is on Facebook, asks, "What does a white chicken mean in dreams?" It's different dreams, but it's the same chicken, which that's something interesting. I don't think I've had dreams about birds before, but I've never had dreams about chicken.
A chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay. Let me see if I can find the crow, camel, bull. Not seeing unless there's birds. The birds of a feather fly together. Oh, wait a minute here. That's something different.
Well, while you're looking for that, I will peruse through some of my thoughts in my brain.
Okay.
So for a chicken, to me, it would have to depend on the context of the dream as well, because a chicken we often associate with being something that's consumed. Okay, either we're consuming its eggs, we're consuming the chicken itself, and maybe it's a fear of being consumed by something, or a fear of not being able to consume something. It could also represent feeling as though you're not succeeding at something, because chickens are they don't fly very well, and I've heard of instances where some people have not been able to, like they feel discouraged about something, so they have dreams about this image where they can kind of do it, but they can't completely do it. And also, if you have a dream about a chicken in some sort of let's say a life-threatening situation, it could also represent being, like, the feeling of being closed in. You feel as though you're being trapped or held down, because in a lot of instances, chickens are caged, and their freedom is restricted. So there could be situations where you feel that you cannot completely express yourself. You cannot completely be free. So that's a very interesting image, Debbie.
Well, was it a rooster or was it a hen? Was it a rooster or was it a hen?
She didn't specify what type of...
Okay, so let me read what it says in the book here about chickens. And it goes just a general thing of chickens, and it goes hens, roosters, banny rooster, and rooster crowing. So that gives you a little bit of idea what this particular book has in it. And it's not very long. It says, chicken, usually associated with being afraid, chicken-hearted, lacking the courage and willpower to buck the system or the establishment pecking order, could symbolize your appearance or acceptance of the status quo of being henpecked or picked on. Let's see. And or your willingness or quickness to pick up on others. Or to pick on others. You may pass the buck rather than making a stand for what you would believe to be right and fair, or live on chicken feed. Perhaps you are in danger of losing your head or are being generally thoughtless. Hens, now goes to hens. Tendency to cluck or brag about little things, possibly represents small talk, gossip, hen party, smallness of your mental scope, a habit of picking on someone, or just general henpecking. Going to the rooster aspect. Rooster, one who likes to crow, cocky, noisy, obstinate, show off with no regard for others and not too bright. A banty rooster, small but with highly combative traits, bold, ruthless. He will tackle anything, any size, anytime, and anywhere. And then the very last one is a rooster crowing. Symbol of bragging, exaggerating, self-glorification, blowing your own horn. This can also be a biblical symbol of denial or the dawn of resurrection. So there you have it.
Now, that was very interesting.
So, and again, it would depend on what her dream was all about. I have to definitely say to Dream Master, you really do need more information on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, she made it sound like that the dreams take place in like different life-threatening situations, like tornadoes, fires, and mudslides, like natural disasters. And it's interesting that you're mentioning natural disasters, because I've been told many times that those represent some sort of change or some sort of shift in life. And if there is a chicken in this type of setting, I personally would interpret it as you feeling that you are unable to be free throughout these changes because something is holding you back.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yep.
Very interesting.
So or she's just not taking a stand for herself. A white chicken. Yeah, a white chicken, for me, white is purity. So you have to look at the color of the chicken as well. Since it's the same chicken, it may represent her.
Mhm.
So again, you have to look at all that.
Definitely. Okay, so we finished off at baby. So let's go on to number 12, shall we? Number 12 is food. Food symbolizes energy, knowledge, or nourishment, and it's directly related to our intellect, emotions, and spirituality. Food can also be a manifestation of idioms like food for thoughts that reveal that we may be hungry for new information and insights. I can't think of a food dream off the top of my head, but I'm sure many people also experience food dreams.
What? You've never had a dessert dream before?
I can't think so. No. Normally, I maybe it's because I go to bed fully satiated. I don't know.
There you go.
Okay, so the next one is house. Houses frequently represent the dreamer's mind. Different levels or rooms may relate to different aspects of the individual dreamer and different degrees of consciousness. The basement often represents what has been neglected and what the dreamer is not aware of in his or her waking life, while bedrooms relate to intimate thoughts and feelings, those closest to the dreamer's core self. And it's interesting that it mentions houses, because I have a lot of dreams in various settings. Like, I have dreams every now and then where I'm in my grandmother's house. And, she has been gone for over 10 years, and I've not been in that house for a very long time. But every time I'm in that house, I just, this wash of memory comes over me, and I smell everything, I feel everything, I can hear everything that was there. And I think in a lot of ways I tried blotting those memories away, because at one point in time it hurt to think of those things because she passed away. But now it's like, Donny, you need to be thinking about these things. You need to reflect on your memory, because your memory is what honors her, and it's what helps keep your childhood alive in some ways. And ever since I started having those dreams again, I was like, I need to start paying respect to those types of things.
Right. Good.
Okay. Last but not least, our favorite, sex dreams.
It's interesting that's the last one.
Right. Saving the best for last. I'm kidding. Okay. Sex and dreams can simply be an outlet for sexual expression, but dreams about sex can also symbolize intimate connections with oneself and others, and the figurative integration of new information. Despite the commonality shared by many dream symbols, it is important to point out that Only the dreamer can truly interpret the meaning of their dream and how these symbols and their meanings may connect to the specific events occurring in their waking life. So, back to sex dreams. Um, okay, I am just going to admit this. I do have a significant portion of dreams where some form of intimacy happens, and I don't really know who's in it, but I've had this interpreted too, that it symbolizes my craving for it, and it also symbolizes the fact, and I do feel detached from it sometimes. I mean, there are instances, we're human. I think on a basic level, we all crave some form of physical contact with another person, and And I guess, your dreams, in a way, kind of help remind you that, hey, you need this in your life. Don't be afraid to go for it.
True. Oh, you can be stubborn like me and don't want to. No, I can't go.
Well,
No.
I try to have lofty expectations.
Yeah, especially with whom?
Oh, I don't know who I would ever have dreams like that of.
Yeah.
My husband.
Yeah.
Oh, we're too funny.
Yeah. What's the guy's name? Adam?
Oh, Adam Lambert.
Yeah.
I don't have, I've had sex dreams about, or not sex dreams, but I've had dreams about kissing him, but I've never, I don't think, had dreams where we've, okay, it's interesting because in my intimate dreams, the dream always stops before we get to that point. Always stops. Either something awkward is happening, like for some reason my mom appears out of nowhere, or, suddenly I appear out in a field of some sort, and I'm just I'm really, subconscious? What's going on? But there's a reason for all of those happenings in the dreams. Perhaps I feel deep down that, again, that detachment, or I feel like it's unattainable, or something along those lines. And it's very interesting going through that and reflecting on that.
And what did you decide that was all about?
Wait, what was that?
And what did you decide that was all about?
This is back when I was in college. I would have dreams like this, and then I would wake up kind of feeling upset. And back then, I always felt the need that I needed someone. I always believed that, I need a boyfriend. I need to be with someone because I don't want to be alone, yada, yada, yada. And I think that neediness kind of depicted itself as images in my dreams of me not being able to get anything like that. And as I've grown older and more secure with myself being single, I don't have dreams like that anymore. And I just always envisioned that as that's my subconscious telling me that, Donnie, you don't need this stuff, you're perfectly fine. You may end up getting it at some point, but with what you're doing at the moment, you don't need that to succeed with what you're doing. And that's how I interpreted it.
Wow.
And that's...
Yep. No, that's good, because that's your interpretation and stuff like that. And that's what this is all about, is we have to figure these things out, a lot of times ourselves.
Exactly.
Because if we don't, then we're not going to know truly, what it means. People can help us out, but the end result is what it feels right to you. And that goes back to follow your heart. So.
Yep.
It is some dreams you just can't figure out.
Right. Have you ever had dreams like that?
You can't figure out?
The inappropriate dreams.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody goes through. You're human. That's a part of life. You're going to have those type of dreams. Sometimes you just have to get out there and do what you got to do. I'm just saying. And it is what it is. It really is what it is.
Yes, it is.
And because sexuality in a dream could be so many different things, we just have to figure out how it is within the dream itself. What does it really pertain to in the dream?
Now, Brenda, what do you tell people who can't remember their dreams?
You can't remember the dreams.
Can you feel like any reason why they can't remember their dreams?
I have people who tell me that they don't remember any of the dreams. And there is nothing that I could really say to them that I know of to try to get them to dream. I'm thinking that sometimes with not being able to dream, there is no imagination there, or they've shut themselves completely off from any information coming in, which is fine. Maybe they don't need that extra sensory perception or anything like that. I mean, I have girlfriends or classmates who said that they don't dream.
Well, I think everyone dreams. It's just a question of whether or not they're aware of it, Because I have instances I don't know. I feel like I dream all the time, but there's just situations where it just doesn't resonate,
Mhm. And they may too, but it doesn't. They don't recall. It's like if I don't even know how to even explain that. With me to envision it, it seems like it's dark. It's just dark, and it's fine. That they're living in this state of darkness, and I don't mean that a bad way. Okay, I don't mean darkness is in a bad way. That they are good and whole and complete the way they are right now, and they don't need any of that extra help.
Yeah. And
but in fact, they do.
Right. And there's also, I know a lot of people out there who end up having disturbing dreams, and they may have it in repetition, but they continually try to take measures to stop dreaming. And for those people who are afraid of their dreams, I would encourage you to, instead of trying to block them out, try to analyze the imagery that you're seeing and understand them first. Because you may end up, you may be missing something very important and vital that could help you in everyday life by trying to, blot out your dreams.
But are they blotting them out because of fear? Because I've come across some people, it's mostly women, who've dreamt dreams and it came true. So they felt as if they were responsible for the death of an individual.
Oh.
So that's why they wanted to stop the dreams. That's just like an intuitive abilities. I had one gal who has severe migraine headaches, but when she was younger, she used to give readings, and she gave information to this one person, and it came true. So that freaked her out because she thought she is the one who did it, put that energy out there to make it happen. So she stopped all of that energy, and that's why the migraines started. That's when the migraine started.
So her fear and preventing herself from doing that is what caused the migraines in a way. Because she was, are you saying she was like repressing herself in a way?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I didn't. And, well, it kind of goes along with the volcanic dreams that I've had. When I've ran away from change, the dreams were always more violent. And then when I stopped running away and I started addressing situations, the dreams got much better, and they were, more feasible, and, I could understand why I was experiencing the things I was experiencing. So, if we continually run away and run away and run away, our intuition will tell us what we need to know, and telling us through our dreams is one of the ways that it can communicate. I mean, if we were going to sit here and... No, go ahead, Brenda.
I want to say, well, in the same token is our loved ones, they come back to us in our dreams, too. They come back to visit us in our dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they could be very vivid dreams.
Oh, definitely.
Because we wanted them to come back, and, so, yeah, very, very vivid dreams. You can have that. Your loved ones talk to you all the time through your dreams. They talk to you differently, too, or they let you know that they're around, but dreams is very, very a good avenue for them to do that, to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not fighting them.
Exactly. Exactly. So have you ever had, any specific disturbing dream that you've never really been able to determine the meaning of it? Or have you been able to mostly determine all of the meanings in your dreams, and your disturbing dreams?
It's been a while since I've had a disturbing dream, and I'm trying to remember. The only one that I remember the clearest is what I mentioned earlier about the blood being all over the room and eyes. I didn't mention the process that there was eyes looking down at me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the most disturbing, and I was able to correct that by consciously becoming aware in my dream that I could change it. So that was it. Any other stuff? I mean, there have been other dreams that I come out of that's way impossible, because it's been so abstract. And yet, when it did occur in the physical form, it was exactly the way it was supposed to be. And I remember the dream saying, "Oh, that's what that meant." Even though it was so abstract, it still had symbology within the dream.
Definitely.
So anymore, I try to get the dreams to foretell me of what is to come in my life. Some happen, some don't. So, and then, you ever notice, I'm going to change up just a little bit, you ever notice where when you come out of a dream, you'll either have a good day or a bad day, or an okay day? If you have a bad dream, your whole day is shot.
Yeah, I have had experiences like that, too. And then you don't realize until the day is over, and you're like, I did that dream kind of triggered the bad day.
So, and the cool thing, too, is just before you go to bed, try to tell yourself when you're laying down to have a certain type of dream, or what you want to dream in that particular dream. And tell yourself, like a little mantra over and over, this is what you want to dream, and this is what you want to experience. And once you get it down pat, you will have that type of dream.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's also interesting, if you need answers about something, too, think about the question before you go to bed, and it's possible to invoke a dream that has those answers, too.
Yes. And Dream Master came back, and they said that I won't allow bad dreams to manifest or to begin with. So that's good. And that was with me when I realized that I could control my subconscious and my dreams. I told my subconscious, no more going out and fighting people. You're not doing that anymore. Okay? And maybe once or twice after that, and this has been years, that it actually slipped and did that. But most of my dreams now are what is possible. What's the possibility of, this particular situation or that particular situation, or where am I going? So I do the same thing. Yep.
Exactly.
So
I just love dreams. I don't care how disturbing a dream is. I think it's important to address them and to face them. Because, how else are we going to learn about ourselves without looking at our dreams first?
Right. You can have people tell you. You can have people divine things for you. But your dreams are the truth, no matter how the truth appears or comes out. Just like if you ask your body a question, your body can't lie. It doesn't know how to lie. So it's going to tell you the truth. It's going to tell you what it needs. You just have to look and try to figure out the symbology of what your body is telling you. Just like in dreams, you have to figure it out. You have to ask questions. When you're in a dream, ask questions. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions.
Exactly.
That's like if you feel somebody, you feel like somebody's around you, okay, and there's nobody there. Ask questions and then listen. Ask questions and maybe you'll feel what they want. I also have to caution on that aspect too, is you got to be aware of that too. You got to be cautious of that.
Yes.
Okay, but definitely ask questions, because there are times when your guides, your angels and stuff, they're there. Ask questions.
Well, see, and also asking questions demonstrates that you're ready to hear what you need to hear. Because a lot of people are notorious for avoiding things like that. Like, so the different things out there, like the energies out there, aren't gonna give us the answers like at the flip of a finger. Like, we have to actually put out there that we are willing to have the strength to hear the answer.
Yes. Yes, definitely. So with that said, I am going to start plugging our stuff here, because we're down to less than 90 seconds. Pretty soon it's going to be less than a minute. So with that said, I want to plug in our radio network here, Mystical Awakening. On Monday night, we have Smoke and Mirrors, or Beyond Smoke and Mirrors, from 9 to 11. Sacred Journeys is Tuesday, 7 to 9. Mystical Awakenings is Wednesday, 7 to 9. True Paranormal is Friday, 7 to 9. And it's all right here on Mystical Awakenings Radio, on BlogTalkRadio. And, of course, we are here. We are here, Universal Journeys Radio. And we love being here. And some other information here just before we leave with Dream Master. It says, let's see, discernment when asking questions. Be conscious of the energies that are around, yes, responding. And yes, pure intention, pure reception, and okay.
Reverb
Thank you, everybody, for
conscious of
this. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and we'll catch you next week right here on Universal Journeys Radio. And we're going out with my favorite song. Don't forget, follow your heart, for only you know which path is right for you.